It's so wonderful to be with you all in 3D. Great to see everyone. I'm going to get on and off stage real quick so you can hear from Glenn, our entrepreneur in residence at Civic Health Project. I also want to call out a couple other team members in the room, Rob Romero, my co-founder, and really a lot of the inspiration for the product we're going to show you tonight, and Julia Kamen, who's here in her pro-social design capacity, but also we're so proud to have her as a member of the Civic Health Project team, and Christos, a really helpful and important advisor for our work. Thanks, Christos Gaudreau. Great, okay. We are going to be talking about a product we've built or incubated at Civic Health Project to detoxify social media at scale using large language model technology. Just before we do show it to you, there we go. Very quickly on Civic Health Project, I wanted to kind of call out the fact that tonight's theme is LLMs and public discourse. We come at this a little bit more from the public discourse side than the LLM side. We've been looking at the problem of toxicity and division in our country with a broad lens, but with an eye on scale. We've invested in measurement, we've invested in the grassroots, we've invested in the entertainment industry, and now we are also a grant maker, an incubator, and a practitioner in this LLM and social cohesion space. I'm a new co-chair for the Council on Tech and Social Cohesion. But for those of you who want to get connected to some of these other folks, these ecosystems and resources, please think of us as somebody who might be able to help and be a linkage into some of these other ecosystems. In the spirit of incubating, we have ourselves decided that we wanted to learn by building and incubating a product ourselves, one that would address toxic online content. Because when you're out in the grassroots trying to address division at scale, you are constantly dealing with the relentless sludge that's coming at us through social media, and it's a lot to overcome. We wanted to fight fire with fire. Specifically, we wanted to look at toxic online content that fuels divisive, anti-democratic beliefs and behaviors. This is closely adjacent to work on hate speech and dangerous speech, but it is distinct. We're really looking at violations of democratic norms. We're looking at what fuels divisive behavior but might fall short of hate speech. And specifically, we're looking at content on X in particular, which is ripe territory, content that attacks groups, animosity toward partisan and other identifiable groups, that attacks institutions, whether political and governing or other civic institutions, and attacks norms, subverting social norms that underpin self-governance and healthy civic life. So that's what we're looking for. And then we want to leverage large language model technology to address and confront those norms violations. So Social Media Detoxify, which you'll see in just a moment, is a project with potential to detoxify online discourse at massive scale. Again, we're starting on X, but there is portability to other platforms as well. We're harnessing groundbreaking social science and AI insights, leveraging the academic ecosystem, not only from the technology side, but from social psychology, moral psychology, political economy, bringing those disciplines together to build the best possible LLM-boosted responses that we can. This platform is very free speech forward, which is an important part of how we position it. It's not designed to constrain or inhibit speech, but to confront speech with speech. And finally, the goal is to equip users, human users, this is a human-in-the-loop solution that you'll be seeing tonight, with timely, relevant, and effective content that defends, models, and reinforces these important pro-social and pro-democratic norms. The conversations we aim to detoxify could come from the left, could come from the right. Okay, this is definitely a cross-partisan solution. We focus on content from both sides that undermines groups, institutions, and norms. These are just a couple of the thousands of examples we find every day on social media. And in terms of what detoxifying responses look like, the posts that we are intervening with, LLM-boosted posts, we are aiming to construct LLM-infused responses that model, defend, and shape pro-social norms of interaction. Just like in a physical room where people are confronting and doing battle with one another, and it's important to have the mediator in the room, the peace builder in the room, the person who defends, reinforces, and models pro-social norms. We believe that we need to have those people at broad scale on social media as well, and that LLM can really help scale that work. So let's show you how we're doing it today. Glenn, over to you.
No, they gave us 2 microphones. This is such a posh sort of thing going on here. Thank you all. I am going to, let's see, am I clicking this one? Yep, okay. So what I want to do is show you a few screens from the application, let you see what we're doing. Specifically, though, I'll just want to do a quick head nod. I loved Beth's framing of this. You know, we are where we are because of design choices, right? Like, our social media is what it is, and when you invite, I don't know, 20 million or worse, 1 billion or 2 people onto your platform, you're going to have some troublemakers. And we're less and less willing to just necessarily shut them out. Certainly the platforms are finding that politically sensitive right now. So what this product is really about is how a small group of people can actually be pro-social to reinforce and try and recreate and strengthen the norms that let us be able and have the freedom to engage, to connect, and to deliberate as much as that's possible in these sort of shapes. So this is the product, and really, if you're talking about, I'd really like to make my environment safer, there's 2 things that you need to be able to do. First of all, you need to be able to find the threats to that safety. What is it that is toxically tearing down the institutions of trust that we rely on? What is creating that difference? What is the dehumanization and difference reinforcement that is causing people to self-censor out and become lurkers? And so the first thing that we use the LLM to do is help us find those opportunities. So we go through, in our case, with our first current product, X, and we find those political conversations that are explicitly tearing down the norms, that are explicitly introducing the sort of things that are preventing productive engagement. Once we find them, we then show these opportunities and deliver them to users, real humans, to actually engage. But that can be a really threatening thing to do. How do I engage with this thing in any way that could possibly be productive and have an outcome other than me getting doxxed and chased out of my home? So what we do is the second major step that the LLMs are used for in this product is to apply strategies that have been proven out as much as you can prove anything, right? But take the best practices that we have been able to determine for how to engage this sort of toxic behavior, and specifically how to engage it with an eye towards affecting the audience, not necessarily turning the original poster around. We all know there's plenty of people doing the outrage thing quite intentionally. You're not going to turn them around. You're not necessarily going to stop them, and you're not going to get, in this political environment, anybody to kick them off the platform. So what you have to do is change the expectations of the people around them to maybe give them a little less weight, give them a little less of their attention. So that's what we try and do. And we provide the application of the strategies to the specific tweets in question and present them to a human user who then has the ability to say, I love this, I'm ready, this is what I want to say, I'm going to say it, or to edit, to change the message, to enhance the message, to add a bit of personalization. Nothing's better than when you can connect something to your own life and share in a safe way, a little piece of your experience and why this matters to you. So we encourage all of our users to do that. And then, one click and it's out there in the discussion. Users, when they do this, they can see what they've done, they can follow the rest of their team, we can follow what they're doing as well. And we have testers that are experienced at this already. We have testers that are new to the idea of counter-speaking to these sorts of threats. And we're having this small group doing about 1,000 interventions on X a month right now. We're collecting the data of how it's working, what the impact's like. But the short version is you can change the course of these discussions. And you can do it from a small group of people with some acceleration from an LLM.
Thank you, Kristin and Glenn.